We're going to start putting this console DL-44 together. First of all, obviously you need to have all the parts already printed. And we're gonna go through the parts. I'm gonna tell you which parts go with which ones and how to put it all together. So first of all, we have the barrel and upper receiver, which is one piece, and we have the barrel stop. These two pieces go together, and it's like the first thing to put together. This is the barrel stop. The barrel stop goes into this little hole. This helps prevent the barrel from going all the way, well, sliding all the way to the back of the gun, because I decided to make these two separate pieces, so this could be flat and this part in the barrel could be flat for easier printing. So then you get the barrel stop in there. Also, if you want to make it like permanent, you can use crazy glue. I like to have the one that's like in this little bottle, and the one with the brush for different applications. So this is the lower receiver, and as you can see here, it has all the mounting holes for all the other pieces. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna slide the upper receiver and the barrel onto this one until it clicks, because it stops here with the barrel stop. So it stays in place. This doesn't move. This has been really calculated and taken all the tolerances into account, so it fits nice and easy but really snug. Now we have these little pieces like the trigger. This one obviously goes into this little hole. For this you will need to glue it in place, like I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna use the brush one because I want to apply a thin uniform layer, and I'm just gonna go like this, just a bit in here, and in here, and we're gonna put it in place like so. Now the trigger is in. Just try to push down and blow into it a little bit, so the glue hardens and everything is good. We're gonna leave it like this. Also, if you think you need a little bit more glue in there, you can use the one that comes in this little bottle and just put a little drop between the seams, and that glue is gonna seep down and help glue the piece in place more securely. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to assemble the rail that holds the how do you call it, this the sight or the telescope in place. This is the sight mount. It goes into this little rail here. Just slide it in place and use the longer bolt and just put it in there, and it's nice and secure. You can also glue it in place, but this one I'm gonna leave it just like this, so I can take the sight off and the mount off when I want to transport or otherwise put away my blaster. So I'm just gonna leave it like this. Then we're gonna grab the shorter bolts, just we're gonna put them through like this, and we're gonna grab our shims and push them on the bolts like so. So this is really secure. I'm thinking, well, it depends on how well your parts get printed. But if all dimensions and part accuracy are okay, then you shouldn't need glue for this, because it's gonna fall and make a mess. Now, because it's going to stay in place, right? So we're gonna check our trigger. It's still not completely glued. I'm gonna use a bit more of this crazy glue. I'm just going to leave a drop sip into the seams. That should do it. So now what we're gonna do is, because we're working with the blaster like this, it would be wise to put in the grip. This would be the grip. It goes in this place, right? Just like so. What we're gonna do here is like, just like in the trigger, just gonna grab a little bit of greasy glue, put a bit on top and on the sides. Like so. And I'm gonna slide it in place like this. I'm gonna grab it, just keep it in place a bit so the glue sets and hardens. And I'm also going to put some drops here, so it is better bonding. That's it. I don't like to put glue in the parts where it's gonna show, because this crazy glue, when it hardens, it tends to go. It tends to get like a white, cloudy color, and I don't want that to show on the parts. Well, just because I like to do it like this. And well, you could just glue it like you prefer and paint it afterwards, or use I don't know, whichever technique you want to use to process it, or just, you know, finish it or whatever. Now it seems like these pieces are starting to be glued, or the glue seems to be set enough so we can manipulate this, so we're not gonna lose any parts when we will be turning this around quite a bit. So now what we're going to do is, on the grip, we have these grip panels. We're gonna put one in. It clicks in place, it should stay in place. But then, to make it more secure attachment, we're going to use some drops of glue just in small areas like this. You don't really need that much glue, because I have found that 3D printing plastics like PLA and ABS get glued well together. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put the other panel in, clicks in place, And we're just going to do the same and add just 2 or 3 drops of glue. And in here. You will notice that I am not doing the whole perimeter because it's not really necessary. I'm just doing like, imagine a like a triangular grid or a square. And that's all it takes, right? You don't really need that much, because if you add too much, it doesn't dry, it doesn't set quite as quick as if you use a bit. Now what we're going to do is, you have your side and then you have your crosshair. What you want to do is to put the crosshair side to side like this, and just try to slide it in. Please be advised that sometimes when you're 3D printing a part, and for example if you are 3D printing like this, the bottom side is going to open a bit. It depends on how well calibrated you have your Z-axis, but then you will get like this open, kind of flared ending on your parts. So what you want to do is use with a knife or an X-Acto knife or a cutter, just try to get that little lip that forms on the bottom of your parts, so you can attach them more, you know, easily, like so. Then you're gonna grab your crosshair and try to push it down like this, and you can also use like a flat surface, the table or whatever. Just push it down uniformly so you don't break it, and there it is, right? So now we're going to put together the scope. I had this piece already here, and this is the one I'm going to be using. These are exactly the same pieces, but this one I had the crosshair in, couldn't get it out, so I made another one so I could show you guys how to put it in, right? And that sounds kind of weird, but anyway. So then you have your scope with the crosshair in, and you have the other half of the scope, and you just push it in like this, right? Don't worry about these mounting holes for the dial, because it should be like center, like in this direction with the crosshair on this, but we're gonna adjust that at the end when we are mounting the side. So we're gonna keep it at this. You have your scope dial, which are all these pieces. I chose to make these 3 separate pieces for easier printing, and because when you try to print, for example, something like this that has a curved contour, if you try to print it this way down, facing the table, these features aren't going to show well at all. So that's why I decided to split it and just, you know, do it like this. And these little pins are to put the whole thing together. So we're gonna slide a pin in there. Oops. Slide another pin in here. It's kind of tight. If it's kind of tight, you could just try to push it in, but I would actually recommend to just try to clean the piece, like remove the little blobs or the flare on the bottom, or you know, all those little imperfections, because you don't want to break your pieces. You would go and try to print them again, right? So we're just gonna push this in. It's nice and easy, see? And we're going to put this in the scope. If you can see here, it has like the contour where the piece should sit, and it has the mounting hole. So you just go like this, and you push it in, like so, it clicks and it's now in place. You could also try to glue it in place, but I'm not going to do it right now because maybe I want to do some adjustments on the future. So let's see. For example, you can see here the crosshair is not aligned with this piece. So what we're gonna do is just we're gonna twist it a bit like this. Just twist it and try to get it as straight as possible, and then there you have it. You can glue your scope all together and just make it permanent, or you could just leave it like this. It's not going to fall down, provided it's printed okay. And well, just scope is ready, right? Now we're gonna go with the flash hider. The flash hider is this piece, which for the actual movie prop was a machine gun. I think it was an M81 or something like that. And what we're going to do first of all is we're going to glue this little nut into this place, right? Also, take in mind that I used these plastic colors because those were the ones I had laying around, and I wanted to really print this because I have always wanted this. I have always wanted one of these since I was a little kid. So let's go. Little drop in there. Push it gently. Don't push it hard. Like force. Don't push it. Don't force it down because the glue is going to splash from the edges and into your eyes, and believe me, that hurts. I lost a part of one of my eyes like that. Well, now I'm okay, but anyway, it hurts like you won't believe, so just be careful. Alright, so just leave it there. And you could add always another little drop so it seeps through the cracks and it helps it stay in place, right? Okay, now this thing is the glue is dry enough so we can manipulate it a little bit more. You can check the dimensions and everything. It sits nicely on your hand. Also, if you have bigger hands or if you want a bigger gun, all you have to do is on your slicer, scale the whole thing up. I mean, I don't know, 105%, 110%, whatever. You can even make like a giant gun if you wanted to. But anyway, I went with these dimensions because these are the actual dimensions of the Mauser C96, which is the gun that was used to make this movie prop on real life. So yeah, it sits good on your hand and it's cool, right? So what we can do is we're going to put the hammer in. The hammer is this piece, which I also took away from the lower receiver for easier printing and faster print time. So yeah, so you're just going to slide it like this, right? It stays in place securely, but for I would like to have the whole actual gun or blaster glued together, so I'm going to add a little bit of glue this place. I'm gonna go with the brush one, just a little bit glue in there, and I'm just going to slide it in like so. And to help it stay in more securely, I'm just going to add 2 little drops on the corners, and that's it. So for the most part, the blaster is already put together. And now what we're going to do is we're going to slide the flash hider into the barrel. Please take into account that this little nut needs to go under the gun, like so, and it needs to go centered on the barrel. And what we're going to do here is we're gonna try to center it like so. Gonna put it on the table so I can really hold it in place. I don't want this to shift. And I'm going to add some drops of crazy glue there under the barrel and on the other side, like so. Just keep it like this for some moments. Anyway, the blaster is on. This is the standard issue DL-44 blaster. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put on the side rail these bolts, line it with these holes and just put it in. Try to push it down uniformly because you don't want one bolt going in further than the other. It needs to go down at the same time, like so, and it's in place. It's not gonna go anywhere. Right? So, it's almost done. What's left is you have to secure these side rings. What I'm going to do, and this may differ in the way you want to put your gun together, since I don't really want to glue this scope all together, I'm going to put the rings on first, like this. And I am going to glue the rings in place. And this is why I didn't want to glue the whole thing together, because I can take this off and just slide the scope in and out, and just take it apart. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the mount like this and the rings, and we're just going to go with some drops of crazy glue on the cracks, on the front and on the back of the ring, like so. You know what, I am taking a gamble here because I haven't put one of these together in this way, but what the hell, let's just go do it. If the piece doesn't work, then we can always go print another one, right? And that's why this is all in many little pieces, because if you screw one piece up, you can always go print another one. Don't take a whole lot of time to do so, because pieces are small and interchangeable, and just wait for the thing to set. Just gonna leave it like this to dry. Put this piece here, and just leave it like this to dry for a few moments. It's have enough time to dry. What we're going to do now is we're going to put the sight in. Alright, so here's the sight. I'm going to try to push it through these rings. Oh, right, because because this part was printed like this in this position. You also have the flare on here. Maybe you should remove it so it's like easier through the mounting rings. And I'm just going to remove that nice and easy. I don't want to cut myself or destroy the part, or otherwise make it look, you know, half-assed. Okay, so we're going to remove this little plastic clip and try to slide it through the mounting rings. As I told you before, I wanted to do it like this because maybe in the future I want to take it apart, so I don't know. Let's see. So let's slide the side through the rings. You'll notice that it's a nice and tight fit. Just, you could always grab the rings like this, so you know you don't crack them or disturb the glue. Just slide the whole gun down. Right, so these holes should be on top, and they should align with the crosshair. We're gonna get this dial in, and we're going to check that it's really aligned and it seems it is. So yeah, and here you have it, Han Solo's DL-44 heavy blaster pistol assembled and ready to go to, you know, conventions, cosplay or Halloween party or whatever, or just sit on your man cave for display purposes. And yeah, so I hope you like this design. I hope you appreciate this opportunity to make this. You know, as I told you, I've always wanted one of these since I was a little kid, and well, now that I know how to design stuff and print stuff and all, just, you know, making my childhood dreams come true. And I hope you can also do that, because it is extremely cool, and because not many people can do that. So yeah, I hope you like this. I will be making more cool designs like this available, so you can download and print. So be sure to check my Pinshape and my Cold's 3D accounts, which I will leave on the video description, because that's mainly where I post my designs. I don't really like to use Thingiverse because I think there's too much trash in there, and because I like to showcase my stuff in a more nice and professional way, and I think these two sites help me better with that purpose. So I hope you like it. If you want to subscribe, please do so. I will be making more 3D printing videos available. The next one will be about how to start 3D printing, because, you know, the learning curve can be a bit steep, and you are not going to learn some things until you have screwed many parts up or your printer, and hopefully I can help some people avoid that. So that's going to be the next video. So thanks for watching, and, you know, just shoot first and have fun.